Hello, my name is Ashley, this is Faithful Rattos, and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to do one of my little dying on this hill mini rants, because this is something that I've seen quite a lot recently. I'm not sure why this is a thing that's being spoken about a lot recently, but I have seen this quite a lot, and so I thought it was relevant for me to make a short little rant style video about it. And that thing, as you can tell from the title, is bathing rats, and why this should never, ever be done. Okay? This is why I think it's almost entirely unnecessary. There is a small, tiny, minuscule fraction of times where it might be medically necessary. However, on the whole, it should never be done, and let me explain why. So, bathing rats should not be done because it's dangerous. It is dangerous for them and the stress that it causes, and it also is harmful to their coat and skin health. If you are regularly bathing rats like you do with other animals like dogs, for example, you are going to be causing an unnecessary level of stress, because being forced into water is not something that rats find fun. And you're also, if you're doing it regularly especially, or if you're using harsh chemicals and soaps, you are going to be stripping away their natural oils and really playing havoc with their coat maintenance, which they are very, very good at doing themselves. You rarely see a rat who is just dirty, and there is usually reasons for that, and we're going to kind of get into a little bit of those as this video goes on. So, as I said at the top of this video, please never bathe your rats, because it's stressful and harmful to their coat and skin. But what you say, if my rat is really stinky or really dirty, what do I do then? So I'm going to give you a couple of options for alternatives that you can use instead of bathing your rats and putting them in a stressful situation. So the first one is to encourage them to groom themselves. Sometimes if you add in a bowl of water, or you give rats herbs, especially the strong smelling ones like mint and basil, this will encourage them to bathe themselves. And if they're getting more encouragement to do that, they are often cleaner as a result. They are excellent at bathing themselves and grooming, and grooming each other. So that's another thing, to make sure that your rat is just generally healthy, because this is something they naturally do. And it's also important for them to be in a group, because there is a lot of co-grooming that goes on. Make sure the environment they are living in is clean, but make sure it's also not being over-cleaned, because rats scent mark to mark their territory. And if they feel like their scent is constantly being stripped away via the cage being constantly and overly and unnecessarily cleaned, they will scent mark more, and this will make their cage and them smell more. So do make sure that you have an appropriate cage set up and you're cleaning it to a good cleanliness level, but that you aren't over cleaning and stripping their whole cage of their scent on a weekly basis, or even on a couple of days basis, which I've seen. This is a mistake that some people make. They want their cage to be as clean as possible, but they're actually unknowingly making the rat scent mark more and making the cage dirtier if they are over cleaning. And the other thing that is really important is to make sure your rats have a good diet. I have seen countless times people talking about how their rats are really smelly in themselves, and it comes to find out they're on a really poor quality diet, and when they switch over to a high quality Schunemite mix, their rats don't smell anymore. You can also add things into the cage which can help with how they smell. Personally, I love like the earthy sort of nature, outdoorsy type of smell. And because I'm bioactive and I use hay as nesting material, most of my rats have that natural nature kind of scent about them, and it's really, really nice. So that is two other little things that can also help. Now, there are going to be certain situations where a rat has to be bathed for safety reasons. So whether they've got something dangerous on them, maybe they've gone into a cleaning product, or they're covered in something very sticky that they can't get off themselves, perhaps that is a time where they should be bathed for their own health and safety. However, most of the time this is not the case. What they're covered in is either pee or poo or food, and it is not necessary to clean that for them. If they're struggling to clean off themselves, or it's just too much, then the two alternatives to giving them a bath when this is not really necessary, are either a damp cloth or an unscented baby wipe. Both of these can work really well, and I've used as well when rats have been covered in poo for whatever reason. They stepped in a stoggy poo or they've laid on poo. All in all, in the majority of situations, bathing your rat is absolutely not necessary, and because it's stressful and harmful for their skin, is not something I would recommend, apart from in very, very small cases where it's something extremely dangerous like bleach or other sorts of chemicals where it is obviously necessary to clean that off them. So yeah, that is my mini rant for today. If you like this video and you want to see more about my rats and my rat keeping and breeding journey, or you want to hear more about my opinions on rat care or my informational videos, please do stick around and subscribe. You can even become a channel member. I am going to be hopefully working on some new channel member only content, so hopefully that will be coming soon. And there is also a really, really exciting project that I've been working on for a long time that involves one of my ratty friends. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.